here to Brands Hatch today for the first race of the Touring Car 2000 season, and we're going to take you behind the scenes with a driver who's literally head and shoulders above the rest. Hi, Matt.
All right, Lofty, what's the weather like up there?
Tear shit up.
Apparently what they've done with these is they've given away 1,000 tickets or something to the local residents.
Yeah.
To say, come to Brands Hatch. Because you know they're trying to get the Grand Prix, well they've got the Grand Prix here.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get all the planning permission and everything. So they said, come and see what a Formula One car sounds like. I don't know, it's the worst possible thing they could ever do.
So you've just had some lunch, you're not eating, you're eating what the team are eating. You've not gone for a high carbohydrate racing driver's lunch.
Not really, sometimes we'll eat it the race day, we'll have some pasta or something like that, but I'll just eat lightly. I'm not too fussed. I won't eat anything heavy like red meat or anything like that.
A quick cup of coffee then before you go out?
Yeah, I've got to go now, I'm afraid, because I've got to sign on and then I've got to get my overalls on and I've got about 15 minutes before I'm out.
Tear shit up.
Heaviest again, I'm afraid. So you'll see they're all individually numbered. These are actually going into sets. We're allowed 28 tyres for the race weekend. That's for testing on the Friday, qualifying and the race on the Sunday. So depends how conservative we are today on how many tyres we've got left, new tyres left for qualifying and the race. So it's everyone's tyre strategy is really, really secret, and we're not going to tell you on ours for that's for sure.
Quick spin, what's going on?
Well, we had to, because we're not allowed tyre warmers anymore, we go out and do an initial lap to warm the rear tyres up on the front, because it's the driven axle, it heats the front tyres up very quickly. Then we swap them onto the back. So we got warm tyres all around. Then we quickly bedded some brakes in, did 2 sort of data collecting laps, and we've now come in to study the data. We got a slight problem with the ratios in the gearbox, which we're just having a look at the moment on the computers.
So Matt, you can't do much better than that then. P1 at the final stages of testing.
I know. It can't get much better. I'm sure they'll all pull something out the bag with the last 30 minutes to go, but with conserving the tyres, it's looking pretty good. We've got one more thing to try out. We want to simulate a one-lap shootout. So you go out on totally cold tyres and then you basically gun it. But Brand's Grand Prix circuit is very different to the Indy circuit. The Indy circuit, you can really drive to the max all the way around, but the Grand Prix circuit is certainly one for the fearless.
Now, tyres aren't something we generally consider to be important, but in touring cars, they are. Tyres, tell me about them.
Well, yeah, very important actually in the touring car racing these days. The cars themselves technically are so close together that adopting the right tyre strategy is critical, particularly this year, as there are only 28 tyres per car per event allowed. So we'd actually spend quite a lot of time, sadly, analysing the way in which we're going to approach the weekend, approaching the test, and how we'll develop through into qualifying and racing. In actual fact, you tend to have to work from racing backwards. You have ideas as to what you ultimately feel you should race, but you work backwards to then define what's available to test, as it were.
Tear shit up.
So, plans for the next couple of minutes? You're going to go and sign on?
Yeah, I think I've got about 5 minutes, so I'll be last as usual because that's my big superstitious thing. It's a real good omen for me if I go and I'm last or really close to being last, because I am very superstitious and I have some really weird superstitions.
Come on, tell us a few of them then.
Well, no, like my signing on thing is I always think the first should be last and the last should be first. So if I sign on last, I'm always going to be
fair enough.
Doing well. Getting into the car in a certain order, I have to put my you've got the old lucky underpants and socks thing. I've got that one as well. And then I have to put my clothes on in a certain order, in a certain way. And then when I get in the car, I have to do it in a certain way. And then put my helmet on and my gloves on and plug my radio in and steering wheel on.
You sort of left hand first, then right hand? Or?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. And if someone comes in and plugs my radio in before I've finished doing something, like, it's all got to come off and start again.
Last assign, good omen.
Matt, 6th in practice. How do you feel about that?
Well, disappointment is a word that comes to mind. I braked a bit too late going into Surtees and overshot the Sterling and overshot the apex and came out and just couldn't get the power down quick enough because I was running out of road.
Go something to do that.
Fourth aim,
Well done, mate. Anyway, good stuff.
I'm annoyed because I made a couple of little mistakes which could have maybe made that bit of a difference, but I'm really pleased because now first 2 rows we're starting on, for the sprint race, and if you're on the first two rows, anybody can have a crack into the first corner, so that's good.
Good company, yeah. Hey, what are you still doing here? Come on, your pass is expired. I'll have that back, thank you. Go on, shove off. We've got to have a serious talk about how this guy can get on the podium tomorrow.
Doing a crossword, squeezing my blackheads and shagging are three things that I've done in the back of a taxi.
You must have chucked up in the back of a taxi.
No, because I don't drink, but I've hung out of the back of the windows and that with a few of the lads and had a...
Oh, a bit of mooning.
Bit of mooning, yeah.
That's it.
The old rear, the old rectum, like you do.
It's got to be done, hasn't it?
Of course it has, but you done it yourself, haven't you?
All the time, mate. Well, I do out of a Jag, you see, because I've got a bit of class, you know what I mean?
Taxis, eh? Chucking up, getting your leg over. We've all done it in the back of a taxi at some time or other, eh?
So you busy, mate?
With buggery.
Do you mind sort of people having sex in the back of your taxi?
Certainly do. There's not a knocking shop.
Well, no, what about but if there's a good tip in it, you won't mind somebody having a bit of a leg over in the back of your car, would you?
No, there's no chance. Who cleans the damn thing out?
Yeah, but you've got those seats that you can wipe down easily, haven't you?
Oh, I'm going to do that, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all lined up now, aren't they, yeah? You know, it's a Wednesday afternoon, they're all there waiting for you. But what about Saturday night when you really need a taxi? You come out, you spent your money, your face is covered in kebab sauce, you've not copped off again, right? And you're trying to get a taxi. No chance. Right, I'm going to try and get a taxi for these lot. Where are you going, lads? Taxi for Old Trafford.
You ever get people on a Saturday night or getting a bit frisky, you know, a couple, they've just met, they're getting a bit turned on. Do you ever get them trying on in the back of your car?
Yeah, we do, but we tell them not to.
Why? You get a free show.
No, it's not allowed, is it?
Oh, don't know, mate. It's going to cost you. I mean, it's a long way, isn't it? It's Saturday night. It's double rate. No smoking, please. Hey, you can cut that out for starters. Watch your language. Hey, I'm doing you a favour, you know. Look, mate, no sex in the back of my taxi.
Do you get a lot of taxis? Do you catch taxis at night?
Yeah, when I'm coming to and from Manchester.
Right. Do you work in Manchester? Yeah?
Yeah, I just work round the corner, secretary.
Right. So, have you ever done anything crazy in the back of a taxi?
Besides throwing up? I don't know.
Have you actually thrown up in a taxi?
Oh, plenty of times.
Good girl.
Actually, you need taxis, don't you? I mean, if you're going to go out drinking, you've got to leave the car at home. Hey, talking about drinking, you know, just a bit of advice. I mean, what happened to a friend of mine a few years back? He was always a heavy drinker, you know, just socially, just at the weekends. Then he started drinking during the week. And it got to the stage where he lost his job, you know what I mean, because of the drink. And of course, when the money started to run out, he still had the drink problem. He went on to the meths, and then he actually ended up drinking brake fluid. And the problem with drinking brake fluid is, you don't know when to stop. Do you get it? Oh, please yourself. Hey, it's late night satellite TV. I'm a 2-bob TV presenter. What do you expect? Have you got a TV licence anyhow?
My finds this week is the most beautiful, exquisite Bentley Continental convertible. This car, designed by Chief Stylist William Allen and John Blatchley, is the epitome of British elegance. Just take a look at it. Drink in these gorgeous curves. Some 420 of these were built in comparison to 1,800 Rolls-Royce Corniche convertibles. Thus, these cars sell for a premium and have a very high demand in comparison to the Corniche. As I say, only 420 were built, remember. I think they're far nicer than the Corniche, far less vulgar personally, and this is a gorgeous, discreet colour. These cars were hand-built at the Mulliner Park Ward Coachworks in Hyde Road, North London. They weren't built on the normal, if you could say, production line at Rolls-Royce's factory in Crewe. So one could rightly say that this was one of the last coach-built British cars. I mean, some of the detailing here, let me just show you, in the door. Little flask, need a snifter, do you? Little drink glasses, even a bottle opener. I mean, absolutely glorious machine. What finer motor car could you buy second hand to waft you down to the south of France, or just bimble you around this country, this fine country of ours, enjoying the glorious countryside? So here we are at H.R. Owen's prestigious showrooms, looking at the successor to Bentley Continental and Corniche Convertible, the Bentley Azure. Now, as you can see, the car has had to evolve to meet modern motoring legislation and requirements, etc. It's obviously improved. No longer have you got a tonneau cover that if you lower the hood, you have to cover the hood frame in. You've got this lovely cover that automatically whirs back over the whole hood when you bring the hood down. You'll see the shape is substantially different to Corniche. Body coloured grille, for example, lights are different. Everything about the car is completely different and a much more modern, fresher look. Right, so I stand by my original opinion that in comparison to the new Azure and brand new Corniche selling for some £250,000, the previous iteration, this gorgeous Corniche Convertible and the even more beautiful, discreet, subtle Bentley Continental is the one for me. Much more elegant, much more beautiful all round. I think you'll agree, the absolute gorgeousness of the curves, it really sums up this country beautifully. It's a marvellous piece of design, and for me it is the epitome of an elegant Rolls-Royce or Bentley. So what's it like to drive, you'd like to know, this absolute beauty? Well, it's magnificent. You just waft along in it. You have nothing to prove to anybody. I tell you, it makes me so relaxed inside, getting behind the wheel of one of these and just gently motoring along. There's nothing better in the world than owning and driving one of these.
Hello and welcome back to New Zealand. You've joined me here in Hamilton for the last day of the Royal Sun Alliance Rally 2000. Today is public day, and as you can see from the cars amassed behind me, it's proving pretty popular. There are about 1,500 cars here, and the organisers expect 30,000 people to come and view them. Today's our last report, so we'll be looking at a few of the cars, the competitors, and of course the members of the public that have come to have a look at the cars. And we'll also be telling you a little bit about the motoring in New Zealand.
Hi, I'm Alistair Brass from Christchurch in New Zealand. This vehicle, it's a 1914 Hupmobile Model 32. It's an HA which designates it's electric. The Hup Motor Company started production of cars in 1908 in Detroit, Michigan. This vehicle was, the project was taken over by my father in 1987, who bought it from a vintage car club member who gathered up the remains off a farm in 1965. It consisted really of 2 trailer loads of rubbish, and very nearly went to the dump when a friend arrived round at my father's place and saw a trailer load of rubbish, and he thought he would take it to the dump and empty it as a favour. Fortunately, he couldn't lift the trailer onto his car, so it did have a reprieve. The car was worked on, I guess Dad started around about 1990, and it went on the road in November 98, was its first run. Since then we've done about 4,300 miles, I think, and it's going very well, very reliable.
So let's talk number plates. Over here, this sort of thing is commonplace. Dad's A, it's a Model A Ford, great. Over in Britain, you'd never get 5 letters on a number plate. But over here, the system is different. You own the number plate, not the car. You pay around $450, shade over £100, and this is yours for life. As long as nobody else has what you want, it's yours. You may have noticed the cars out here displaying these 2 documents. The top one here is equivalent to our tax and registration document. The bottom one here is the same as our MOT. Over here it's called a warrant of fitness, and you have to get a new one every 6 months. Well, that's all from us here in New Zealand, but now I'm off for a ride in this Dennis fire engine to have a look at some of the other cars that I might have missed.